I say salutations to the fans of the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, an instant classic. That's what we say around here, right? That would say, yeah, 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 think so, yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. Anyway, let's get into it. We got tough enough reactions for episode number trace. If you don't know Spanish, episode 3. If you know French, I don't know it, so I'm not gonna tell you. Episode 3. So we were excited going into it, um, and we're gonna dive right into it, and we'll talk a little bit. It was an interesting show. The bottom 3 kind of made me a little scared for my life because it was just such a tough one. But we'll get to it here when we get to it. So first off, we started out with Diana quitting for the sake of quitting, and I was like, all right then. I think this happens in like almost every reality show where someone just quits just for the sake of quitting. I know it happens a lot in Survivor, um, and I just hate it when people quit. It's just frustrating to me personally because I'm like, why are you quitting? You worked so hard to get here. And she was just quitting because she wanted to work on her marriage or work on her wedding or whatnot. And I'm like, you have time. Trust me. I'm sure you planned ahead to have time after this competition is over to do it. I don't know. I was just frustrated with her quitting just for the sake of quitting. You got any thoughts on Diana quitting? I'm glad she's gone though. As good as she was just too complaining for me.
I mean, I'm glad she's gone, but at the same time, it kind of pisses me off because first off, she starts bitching and moaning again about how no one wants her there and how she just wants to go home and plan her wedding. I, I just wanted to be like, well, then why the hell did you try out for Tough Enough, knowing full well you'd be there away from home for what is it, like 10 plus weeks? And also, the the fact is, nobody wants anyone there. Like, everyone wants to be just the one last person to be the Tough Enough winner. So nobody wants anyone to be there. So you can't just be like, oh, no one wants me to be there. No one wants anyone to be there. They want to be the only one. So you can't use. I don't know. It's just like it boggles my mind that she would try out for Tough Enough, knowing full well if she got picked, she would be there for however many weeks. Like, it wasn't like she was a surprise, like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be this long, or I didn't know. Like, I don't know. It just, I'm glad she's gone, but it just wasted a lot of people's time, I feel like, especially people that really wanted to be there. There was a lot of contestants that didn't get picked that really wanted to be there. And I don't think it's fair to them. But
I agree. This just means I can wear a hat with this now. I didn't know that. I was gonna try it eventually, and I was like, tonight might be a perfect night to try it. So that's why. And it was all about character tonight. So changing character in the middle of the show. That's what it was. That's what this was right here. But definitely, I was just weirded out by her doing that. I'm just like, why is she quitting? Just quit. Why? Anyway, um, we got the morning run. Nothing too special here. Billy Gunn kind of just picking with the contestants. Did you have any thoughts on the morning run at all?
Billy's an ass. He's just a straight ass coming in with a wind up siren. Like, I love you, but you're an ass.
I agree. He does notice during this morning run, more so after this morning run, that someone was gone. And he was like, "Well, I'm glad this person." He didn't even really mention her that much. He just said, she Amanda, you're the only blonde left, and then he said, you know, I'm just glad she's not wasting her time anymore. I'm glad that person's not wasting her time anymore. So, I'm glad at least they kind of acknowledged her a little bit that she did quit. Because you would think they would really get on it about it, like they would really be kind of upset about it as judges, seeing that she wasted their time as well, or trainers, excuse me. But next we got the character challenge with the undisputed future Seth Rollins, and I was excited to see Seth Rollins. I've been excited since I've been seeing the previews with Seth Rollins on it. Um, so I was definitely excited to see Seth. I wish he would have been like the judge for this though, because he ended up just leaving after he told the contestants about what was going on. But since he's the the superstar for the week, it would have been nice for him to for them to be like, why don't you just be the judge of this? A guy who's kind of had his character change a lot, going from face to heel, going from Shield to what he is now. So I wish they would have had him be a judge, but you know. Rollins said he only sees Amanda as just a Barbie doll. Um, and then when we actually got to the actual competition, Sarah was the queen of mean. But the judges weren't really feeling it. I wasn't either. She just really didn't seem mean to me. She seemed kind of more awkward than mean. You got Josh was the British brawler. I thought he did pretty good with the British brawler. But Billy wanted a little bit more from him. Daria was the falling angel. She literally would fall when she got into the ring, and the judges were just confused. You had Tanner the stud muffin. Um, he slips on the tries to get in, trying to be all cool, but but other than that, it was a pretty good. He had the look for it. Pat doesn't see it, and I was like, why are they asking Patrick his opinion on Tanner when Patrick doesn't like Tanner in the least anyway. So why would Patrick be like, yeah, that's just terrific. I love it. Yeah, clap it up. I wouldn't see Patrick saying, yeah, it's terrific. I don't know why they asked Patrick in the place, but Patrick was getting a lot of input on a lot of these things, just either off screen or on screen. Then we had Gabby, who is the farmer's daughter. At the end of the show, they said her name could have been Hooker T because she was very kind of hookerish. Amanda just don't get it. She was like, I don't think this is a farmer's daughter to me. Um, you know, Patrick does say he's ready to do some plowing um, if need be. So Patrick's ready for anything if the moment strikes. Then we get Patrick, who's the evil genius. I didn't think it was that bad. I liked it. The judges liked it. We got Amanda, who is the Barbie doll. Um, it was a good try. I thought it wasn't really tough. I think she was supposed to be a tough Barbie doll. I'm not too sure off the top of my head, but I think she was supposed to be kind of a tough Barbie doll. I didn't really see too much of a tough Barbie doll. I saw a Barbie doll, but I didn't see tough. Um, it was a good try, and then ZZ to it though. Patrick was just mouth wide open, speechless through this one. We got Mata, who is the king of the ring. I like that, that King Tut approach he had to it. I thought that was pretty cool. And Pat, of course, the only one they're featuring in this episode, he really liked it. Georgia was the boss. She just came out there. She should have just sent Sasha Banks out there to do this one. Georgia was the boss though, and I think she did good. I loved it. My favorite personally. Just saying, my favorite. ZZ was the American hero, and my first thought was, what is he wearing? Um, because I was like, what is this American? He looked like he was like an Indian or something, like one of those prototypical Indian gimmicks that WWE would come up with, American Indian or something. Amanda said she was a fan of the package, the box, whatever you want to call it. Amanda was a fan, and there were a lot of package references after this. um, Billy said it was quite ridiculous. ZZ was letting him know though. That's what I liked about ZZ in this episode. At least, he kind of stood up for himself. He didn't try to be goofy about it. He was like, you know what? I'm trying to do it the way I want to do it. And I like that he stood up for himself a little bit. But Billy just wasn't having that. And when ZZ told his reactions later, I'll go more into that. Pat basically won this one, and Georgia won this one because Georgia, she's perfect. Anyway, no, Casey, you got any thoughts on this competition? I know it took me a while to get through it because it was a lot going on, and I tried to get everybody, in it and give the thoughts, and it was difficult. But any thoughts on the thoughts?
It's gonna be just as long with me because I wrote a lot about it too. So it's gonna be a long review. First off, I liked this week's Seth Rollins as a superstar. I didn't like that there wasn't an NXT superstar with him. You know, I wanted to see like an NXT star as well. Like we did
Breeze would have been
last.
perfect.
He would have. Breeze or Sasha Banks would have been awesome, I feel like. Um, but we did. He was there longer than Seth Rollins. Like he was there for a good amount of time. He was in the talking to each one of the contestants, like what's your character? What are you gonna do? Um, so at least we saw more of him than we did of Roman Reigns. But anyway, so yeah, Sarah Lee got Jade, Queen of Mean. I like how they had names with them as well. She just she's just too nice and innocent to make that character work. I feel like. Josh got Bronson, the British brawler character. I kind of liked it a bit, but um, they're just he needed more to kind of let it be known that he was a British brawler. Besides having like the flag that tied around his arm, I didn't really get British brawler. I got brawler because he came out in like a white beater and jeans, but I didn't get the British part of it too much. Um, Daria was Angels Have Horns, the fallen angel character. Gonna be honest, it looked like a bad stripper routine. I have to be honest. When they said fallen angel, I was expecting like the female version of Christopher Daniels. I don't know if anyone else was thinking that. I was like, come on, please. So Tanner got Wildman Wayne, the stud muffin character. I really liked it. I felt like it fit him until he tried to jump over the top rope and failed epically. He shouldn't do that, just ever. No. Gabby, Gabby got Gabby Lynn, farmer's daughter. Just nothing to say. A Brazilian girl trying to be a farmer's daughter. Just no. It did not work. Patrick was Rick Powers' evil intellect. I thought it was funny that Lita actually let him use her dog for this, which was kind of, I don't know. I didn't like his character too much. Everyone seemed to like it, but I didn't really. It didn't do anything for me except for the dog. That was kind of funny. Amanda got Candy Rose Barbie doll, and I don't know if this was supposed to be an edgy Barbie doll, like you said, or just a regular kind of Barbie doll. But it seemed like a Miss America hooker. Like that's what I got, Miss America hooker. I don't know. Mata was the Pharaoh. His character was King of the Ring. I wouldn't have thought Pharaoh when I heard King of the Ring. But I like that he did take it a little bit different. Normally when you think King of the Ring, you think like British royalty type king. You don't really think like Pharaoh. So I like that they did something. He did something different, and he was very intense. I liked it. Georgia was Miss Victoria, the bossy bitch character, or the bitchy boss character, whatever. I liked it. Reminded me, like you said, of Sasha Banks, which I really liked, and I think she did it really well. And then ZZ, American Zane, the American hero character. He looked. I'm gonna be honest again. He looked like a really stiff, patriotic Vegas showgirl. That's what I got. Very stiff, patriotic showgirl. That's I don't. I love you, ZZ, but no, just no. Yeah. This is why WWE picks your characters for you, because you get stuff like that. But yeah, it was entertaining. There were a couple of really good ones that I thought were really good, but we'll get to the winners in a second. But
All right, so yeah, the winners of this one was Patrick and Georgia. Did you have anything to say about that? I agreed with Georgia because she's my girl. one of many. But Patrick, I kind of like Mata's, to be honest. His was different, and he really he did it well. And I think Mata didn't get a ton of credit for doing a good job. I think Patrick got a lot of credit, but Mata, kind of he's been in the background a little bit recently, and I feel like that's why I didn't get a ton of credit for. I thought was a really good job at kind of that King Tut type of a thing. Do you have any thoughts on the winners?
He was a pharaoh. It wasn't King Tut. We're not going to stereotype him as King Tut. He was just a pharaoh. He could have been any pharaoh. He didn't have to be King Tut. I'm sorry. No, but I mean, I agree with you. Georgia definitely was the female winner. She did the best out of all of those. And I agree. I think Mata did much better. I really didn't like Patrick's at all. I didn't, besides him having Lita's dog, nothing really jumped out at me about his character, really. Like, it seemed really generic. And if I didn't know it was supposed to be evil intellect or evil genius, whatever, I wouldn't have known what the hell he was going for. Like, if you had to guess what his character was, I would have been like, gay dude with a dog? I don't know. Like, I don't understand what's going on right now.
Orlando Jordan from TNA? No. But yeah, I definitely I like this competition. The only thing that I didn't like was there was no physical competition. I think in seasons past, the physical competition at least kind of saved the butts of some of the other people who didn't do well in the whatever the kind of awkward or weirder competition was. The kind of um, outside the box competition was. So I was kind of weird that there was no physical competition this week, or at least something that was somewhat physical, besides the run. But yeah, it's typical.
Yeah, but I don't really think this was really out of the box, because I mean, it's something they're gonna have to do anyway. It's not like it's one of those weird games in past Tough Enoughs that really didn't have anything to do with whatever. This kind of is gonna go towards them when whoever wins, when they do start developing a character, because like Seth Rollins said, they might give you a character that isn't necessarily you that you would think of, but you have to make it work. So that kind of, I liked it. I was kind of confused that there wasn't another challenge, because usually there is like two an episode, one physical and one kind of more character wise or something like that. But I liked it.
All right, so next we get reactions. They're back in the barracks, and they're giving basically kind of some reactions of what's going on, of how the competition went, stuff like that. ZZ does his best Sheamus impression here, but were you entertained? And I like that he said that he went with the he kind of gave us a little explanation of what he was going for, because ZZ is an interesting character within himself, and I think his mind is a little bit different than other people's think of an American hero being. Um, but I thought it was funny. He's like, but did you laugh though? It's kind of like that sarcastic. Did you die? Like kind of like that. I like that he kind of explained himself a little bit. It helped me kind of wrap my head around this showgirl thing that he attempted to do when he went out there. But Gabby is trying to sway Sarah a little bit, trying to get her over to the bad part of the house here. Since Diana's gone, she got to get somebody, right? But I was like, but this isn't really that type of a competition. If this was Big Brother or something like that, where the contestants basically vote on who's leaving, it's a little bit different. I don't know how you felt about that, but I was like, this really isn't based on who likes you in the house. It may go outside of the house a little bit, but then again, it's more of how you perform, more so than it's about getting people on your side. Like it's a little bit different. Like in Big Brother, when you don't have people on your side, you're screwed. In this competition, not so much. That's why Gabby's still there. I don't know if you agree with that.
Um, I didn't like Gabby trying to, you know, get Sarah Lee under her wing. But the more I think about it, I mean, it could end up sort of helping Sarah a little bit, you know, maybe giving her more of that character, you know, making her open up a little bit more, giving her a little bit more of an edge, and getting that character that Paige wants, you know, because Paige is just on her, you know, I'm gonna put you in the bottom three every week until you get a character. And I'm like, Paige, you need to calm down, girl. You need to calm down. But I mean, so it could be beneficial to her, but I don't know. I don't see it ending well.
All right, so next we got Tanner and Patrick are going at it a little bit. And Tanner's like, I mean, I've been working people for 10 years, bro. I'm an MMA fighter. I can work you. That's what I would have said personally. I can work you, and probably I would have got punched in the face and just would have had to leave. No, that's what I would have said though. That's what Tanner was saying basically in my terms. I'll work you. And the basically the fight is on, Patrick versus Tanner. But who won though? It wasn't really much of a fight. There wasn't any fist flying, nothing like that, which makes sense because you don't want to get thrown out of the house for a fight. Let's be honest. But who would win though? I think Tanner might have the edge because if we're talking about a wrestling match, I feel like Pat has the edge because he is a wrestling coach. But if we're talking about a fight, I feel like Tanner kind of has the edge because he is an MMA fighter, so he does fight for a living. I don't know. I don't know who you picking. Who you picking, Casey? Are you picking your boy? Or are you picking, Pat? Swole Pat.
Man, you know, it wasn't even a fight. It was like a high school scuffle. Like it was like one of those middle school, high school scuffles where it like almost turns into a fight and then it breaks up really quick. Like a teacher comes and they break it up really quick. It was like nothing even happened. I was kind of upset. I was like, I wanted at least one punch. Come on now. But I don't know. My money would kind of be on Tanner because he is an MMA fighter, so he's used to it. Patrick, I don't know. I get more of a kind of a pretty boy, cocky kind of vibe from him. I don't really like. I don't know. He kind of reminds me of Kenny King, but I think Kenny King could kick his ass.
That's just because Kenny King in the BDC, and you jump up to get beat down and all that. That's what it is. All that gang mentality that TNA is pumping your blood. They pumping it in there. All of that. But let's get back to it. The judges, we got the drilling. This is Casey's favorite part. I didn't really like it this week. They didn't really ask anything. All they talked about was, I got a box. All they talked about was this, the package. That's all I heard throughout this whole thing. I didn't know if I had a box. I had to look around a little bit. But all they talked about was easy. And is it real? Is it fake? If it's real, it's real. If it's not, then, whatever. Nobody cares about the man and his jewels and, as McMahon would call it, the grapefruits. No one, whatever. But I don't know. I didn't really like it this week. Paige was feisty. That was about it. Everybody else was just kind of what was going on. Daniel Bryan asked about Tanner, and he was like, "Can you really fight though? Because that was the worst fight ever." And I'm like, Patrick did the same thing, Daniel. Patrick, all he did was like try to push him away. It did the same thing. Let's be honest, Daniel. Come on, Daniel. No. But Casey, you got any thoughts on the drilling this week? I know this is your favorite part.
This week made me sad. It was so bad. Like all they talked about was EC's package. I love the man, but I don't want to talk about his package. I'm sorry. I don't know. It was just bad this week. I don't think we got anything out of anybody. Like there wasn't any like really confrontation or really big, important questions like that weeded anybody out. Um, but so yeah, let's just move on to the bottom three.
Okay, we got the bottom three. This one was the toughest one I think of the season for me. Well, only 3 episodes in, but still, toughest one of the season for me. This was one where I didn't really know who I wanted to go home. Like I was like, I don't know. I like all these people individually so much, but my boy Josh won't in there though. Oh sorry, I was hyped for a second. Josh won't in there, so that was good. My pick, but my dark horse in there. I think Hulk put him in there. Um, Paige, told Sarah to get a character and put her in there, and then Daria was in there, and I was like, oh man, this is so tough. I like Sarah. I feel like if she, gets out of her kind of shell, she's kind of like in that pistachio shell where it's open, where at times you see it, but then you can kind of see into it, but you have to break it to get into it. Pistachios, they're pretty good. Good enough. Anyway, anyway, good comparison. Personally, I thought no, all right. And then we had Daria, who I really like. I really 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 like Daria. I liked her since the beginning. She was kind of the one that stood out to me. Besides Ashley, but in the who actually got a chance to be in the competition. I always liked her. Um, and then we got our second chance. I feel like Casey's dying to say something. I'm gonna let him say whatever he's saying right now. I feel like he's giving me his look like he's dying to let me know, to put me on the spot. What is it?
In the immortal words of Booker T, tell me you did not just use a pistachio analogy. Tell me you didn't just say that.
Come on, man. Who uses pistachio analogies anyway? See, I'm already being different. Separate myself from the pack. I can win this.
Damn.
I can win this. I'm already separating myself from the pack. Tell me one person who used the pistachio reference in the comments. Tell me. No one. Exactly. No comments.
There's a reason for that.
Anyway, anyway, we kind of got this cool thing where we got second chance ring entrances, what I thought was cool from the bottom three. Sarah to me was still not that impressive. I thought it was very very similar. She was a little bit meaner, but it still looked like she was like struggling to keep the mean face on. You're supposed to be like that. Like make sure they know that you mean. Even when you talk, you look mean. You know what I mean? I know personally from experience. I'm a mean fella. Anyway, let's continue. We had ZZ. I thought it was funnier because he got a chance to kind of engage with the crowd. And that's kind of all he wanted. That's all he wanted was for it to be funny. One thing about it though, Paige was like, "Was this a speech?" I'm like, let the man do what he needs to do. You can engage the fans in your entrance, man. Cena does it all the time. He's like, whatever, let's go. Pretty much. He says a lot of things and then goes to the ring, and then holds up his towel. All of that. You can engage the fans while you're doing it. And then Daria, I thought her presentation was better with the kneel. But I was like, do you have to look at the judges the entire time you walk around? I mean, you be spinning around in circles like this. I'm like, what? Why are you looking at the judges? Just act like they ain't there. Act like you're in the middle of an empty ring. I don't like the fact that she looked at the judges so much. But we're down to the final three. We got our vote, and the vote is in. And Mari says, you are not. Mari didn't say anything. Mari was not even part of the show. Daria, unfortunately, does end up getting eliminated. But I don't know. I would have been sad regardless of who got eliminated here. Just because I like all three of these people. I felt like with Daria, I didn't really know why she got eliminated to a certain degree, because I really expected to be Sarah. Because especially with everybody in the background saying Sarah, Daria, Sarah, Z, Daria. No one said Z, but you know what I mean. Everybody was saying Sarah, so I was like, she's getting eliminated. It's over. But Daria is eliminated, and I was very sad. She was very emotional, which I loved. She said we're gonna see her in the WWE anyway because she do what he want, show what she want because she can. Another BDC line right there. Anyway, Casey, any thoughts on Daria? I think
I
she was
think she
my
was my
pick
pick
early
early
on,
on, like
the, the
the
very
very
first
first
time.
time.
Even though
Even
from
though
the
from the
first
first
episode,
episode,
Georgia's been
Georgia's
my
been my
girl.
girl.
I gotta take a bit of a deep breath because you just went through like the whole last part of the show real quick and all of it together, and there was so many segments. So I gotta go. I gotta go. First of all, DJ is a mean guy with his pistachios. So mean. He might crack your pistachio. Be careful. He's um no, I agree. I didn't like these bottom three at all. I wouldn't have picked them to be in the bottom three, but I feel like there wasn't really anyone else this week anyway that would have fit in the bottom three. Like there's people that I wanted to be in the bottom three, but they didn't deserve to be in the bottom three this week. Like Gabby, I kind of wanted to be in the bottom three just because I don't really like her. I kind of want Patrick because I don't know. I don't know. But I didn't really think anyone really deserved it that much. This week's challenge was particularly hard if you haven't done something like that before. You kind of have to work on it. And when they did get the chance to redo their entrance, I thought all of them were exactly the same. I didn't see really any difference in any of them. I was like, "Come on, you got a second chance to do the entrance. You gotta change it, do something different." And they did the exact same thing. I thought, but you know, I'm kind of I have mixed feelings about Daria getting eliminated. Um, you know, she did have a little like emotional speech there. And I don't know how many times you can mention LGBT in one conversation, but they did it like 15 times. I'm like, okay, WWE, we know you're like they just had to drill it in there. Like we accept it now. She's lesbian. We get it. Like I understand. You don't have to say it over and over again. It's cool. We get it. Um, but I mean, I'm glad ZZ's still there. I'm glad that Sarah Lee didn't get eliminated because I feel like maybe she can, come out of her shell a little bit more. But yes, her pistachio. She can come out of her pistachio shell. I'm done.
All right. I had I had something to say, and thanks to your pistachio reference, you making fun of my pistachios, I don't know what it was. So I'm gonna read comments from LB Clash of Kings since he's our viewer for the night. Let's see here. So LB said a lot of things, which was nice. He says Amanda deserved to go home, deserved to be in the bottom three more than anyone. Amanda deserved to be in the bottom three over Daria. Um, yeah, I probably would rather see Amanda go home over Daria. Personally, I like Daria. She was my girl. He said he's very disappointed. Um, very disappointed in Diana just randomly leaving out of nowhere. His picks that kind of did best for the guys, Patrick, Mata, Tanner, except for him failing, jumping over the ropes. For the girls, Gabby, and the total package, Georgia. And I don't mean ZZ. I mean the total package, Georgia. But he said ZZ was funny. He knows how to play a character. And he has the most charisma on the show, along with Patrick. He feels like that Gabby and Georgia have the most charisma, and I think Gabby has the most kind of has the most charisma because she's kind of just mean. She should have got the boss one. I think she could have really did well on that. If they would have switched that one, I think they still would have both would have did pretty good. I think Gabby could have did it. Um, I still don't know if Georgia could have did the. She's from Australia, so I'm not sure about the farmer's daughter for her either. Um, but he said he definitely thought Sarah Lee deserved to go home over Daria. He doesn't see anything in Sarah Lee. She's just boring, not cut out to be a wrestler. You're a liar. I love Sarah Lee. She is great. She is terrible. No, wait. She's great. You got me confused.
She makes wonderful cupcakes.
She makes wonderful, and I mean wonderful cupcakes. Yeah, I like Sarah Lee though. I think once she comes, like I said, when she comes out of her shell, we're not gonna mention what kind of shell it is, just her shell. She could be good. Don't you say it, Casey?
What kind of shell is it? It's not an almond shell. It's not a peanut. What is that shell? Oh, I feel like it's green. Is it? I think it's green.
Pistachio shell. Excuse me. But I had to get it out there. Anyway, if you like my pistachio reference, leave a like on the video, because who doesn't like pistachios and references that put together things that you wouldn't know? It's a metaphor. Come on, guys. Come on. Get your English up, fellas. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Casey's still hating on my pistachio reference, but it's okay. This was a very interesting show. Bottom three was tough on me this week. Maybe next week won't be as bad. I want to see Lee step out. I want to see ZZ kind of, ZZ not be as goofy, but that's kind of who he is. He can't help it. He can't help it, and it wouldn't be as funny if he wasn't goofy. But yeah, definitely excited for next week. I want to see who the guest is for next week. I think they've been promoting Seth Rollins for an entire week now. So you have any last minute thoughts on the show and not my references?
I mean, the damn pistachio. Oh, sorry, not the pistachio. No, I don't know. See, I love ZZ, and I kind of want him to win, but I feel like just because he is so different and he has that different mindset, I feel like he might be a little bit hard to work with for like creative. I feel like they would have a hard time like working with him on a character, because he would have one completely different idea, and WWE would want this, and I don't know if it would work. But I was surprised they didn't give like a preview of next week who the special guest. It's probably going to be Dean Ambrose, because you got to finish the Shield, But I feel like it is going to be one of the newer guys that has come up from NXT in the past, couple years. Because we got Roman Reigns, we got Seth Rollins, who has come up from NXT, and I think they're trying to build that. Other than that, it could be one of the older veterans, like John Cena. But I'm just excited to see what they do next week. I'm wondering what they're going to do if somebody else leaves, because then, are they going to cut out eliminations? Because that's what I thought they would do, is cut out an elimination to make, because they said it's set for like a certain amount of weeks. But if if somebody leaves and then there's still an elimination, that kind of shortens I feel like that shortens the season a little bit. So I'm wondering how they're going to work that out. If since even with one person leaving, it shortens that at least 1 week. But
I'm thinking maybe a pass is used or something like that, and that kind of nullifies the entire elimination process for that week or something. But that would be weird if they had 3 of those to use, though. 3 of those that would nullify eliminations for that week, just because then that would extend the season. So I don't know. I'm just interested to see what these saves are all about. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like on the video, comment any comments you have. Who do you think is going to win? Georgia, obviously, we all know it. Georgia's going to win on the female side. Josh is going to win on the male side. So we all know it. I think this might be the first year they did guys and girls 1 wins from each side, which is kind of interesting as well because I know in 2011 they had them all compete against everybody else. Everybody was competing at the same time. But subscribe if you haven't already. Love you guys like always. See you guys later. Peace. Bye and pistachios.